All right, ready to dive in. We're tackling psychology lecturers today, and we've got some juicy RoleCatcher intel to guide us.
Sounds like someone's got questions that go beyond the textbook.
You got me. This RoleCatcher guide is like, whoa, being a psychology lecturer is way more than just, well, lecturing.
It's a common misconception. It's about sparking curiosity, not just reciting facts.
Exactly. It's this whole mix of teaching, research, even being involved on campus. It's like this guide just revealed a whole hidden side to academia.
Yeah, spot on. This isn't about hiding behind a lectern. It's about actively shaping the field.
So paint me a picture. What does a typical day actually look like for a psychology lecturer?
Okay, so imagine, right? You're prepping, engaging lectures, maybe designing a research study, say, on something like cognitive biases, or even, mentoring a psych grad student.
Wow, so it's like being a scientist, a teacher, and a mentor all at the same time. One thing I found really interesting, Rollcatcher mentioned how much technology is changing things up. It's not all about dusty old textbooks anymore.
Oh, absolutely not. We're talking virtual reality simulations, to study phobias, or using online platforms for global research collaborations. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Okay, that's some next level learning right there. But hold on, let's rewind a bit. This career path, it's got levels, right?
Yeah.
How do you even get started as a psychology lecturer?
Good question. Usually you'd start as a teaching assistant, really hone those teaching skills and then move up to lecturer, senior lecturer, maybe even become head of department.
Wait, so you're saying there's a chance I could be running a whole psychology department someday? Now that's a thought.
Hey, anything's possible, right? But what I like is RoleCatcher, they lay out these different stages really well. They even have these profiles of actual psychology lecturers showing their career journeys. It's like a sneak peek into what's possible.
That's got to be so helpful for someone just starting to explore this field, like myself. But let's be real for a sec. What does it really take to excel in this kind of role?
Well, obviously a passion for psychology is a given, right?
Right.
But beyond that, RoleCatcher highlights some really important skills. Communication, that's huge. Being able to explain complex stuff to students, get those research findings across clearly.
Makes sense, because what's the point of all that knowledge if you can't share it in a way that actually connects, right?
Exactly. Then there's being good at research, designing experiments, analyzing data, getting published. That's a whole other skill set.
So you've got to be a bit of a research rock star on top of everything else. What else we got?
Critical thinking, that's crucial. Psychology, it's all about challenging what we think we know, looking at things from different angles.
Right, so you're saying this job is about way more than memorizing facts and theories. It's about being able to really think critically, analyze information, communicate it effectively.
100%. And these skills are only becoming more important in today's world. Speaking of which, let's talk about this whole technology thing. We touched on it, but how important is tech really to the job itself?
It's like having your own personal tech support team, right?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of, but it's not just about using technology. It's about integrating it into your teaching, your research. It's got to be meaningful.
Right, it can't just be a gimmick. Speaking of meaningful, Rollcatcher had this whole section on acing the interview for a psychology lecturer position. Seems like they really thought of everything.
Oh, yeah, they did. And the questions they highlighted, those are gold. They really make you think. It's not just about knowing the right answer. It's about showing how you think.
Like what? Give me an example. What kind of questions are we talking about here?
Well, okay, imagine they ask you, how would you use technology to create a more inclusive learning environment? See, that's not just about knowing what tools are out there. It's about understanding the why, the how it impacts students.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. I'd need a minute to think about that one.
Or how about this? How do you stay updated on the latest research? Especially with so much available online these days. They're really trying to see how you approach your own development.
Those are tough. Yeah. I'm glad Rollcatcher gives some sample answers. That's got to be helpful.
Oh, for sure. It takes some of the pressure off. And it's not just about memorizing answers. It's about getting a feel for what they're looking for.
Right, like the way you approach the question matters as much as the answer itself. So besides acing the interview, Rollcatcher talks a lot about essential skills. What are we talking about here? Beyond just knowing about psychology, obviously.
Right, right. Well, communication skills are at the top of the list. Being able to break down complex ideas, make them understandable. It's not always easy, especially when you're talking about, intricate psychological
It's
theories.
about making it relatable,
Right.
so students can connect with it. What else?
Oh, and you've got to be organized. I mean, you're juggling lectures, research, mentoring students, maybe even administrative tasks. It can get pretty overwhelming if you're not organized.
That makes sense. Being a psychology lecturer, it's like a juggling act, isn't it?
Totally. And, another thing they mentioned is being adaptable. Things change quickly in academia, new research, new technologies, new teaching methods. You've got to be willing to roll with the punches, and keep learning.
Flexibility is key. Got it. Anything else? What about creativity? Is there room for that in a field like psychology?
Oh, absolutely. Think about designing engaging lectures, coming up with innovative research questions. You need creativity to capture students' attention and push the boundaries of the field. It's not just about what we know, it's about how we find out what we don't know.
That's a good point. So we've got communication, organization, adaptability, creativity.
Yeah.
That's quite the skill set.
It is, right. And it goes to show this role is about so much more than just like knowing all the theories and stuff. It's about connecting with people, thinking critically, being creative.
It's like a whole package deal.
Yeah.
So for someone who might be thinking, hey, this sounds pretty cool, what are the perks? What are the really rewarding parts of being a psychology lecturer?
Well, for me, it's that aha moment when you see a student grasp a complex concept or when your research actually makes a difference, even in a small way. Those are the moments that make it all worthwhile.
And those moments are what it's all about, right? Making a difference, seeing the impact.
Absolutely. And, it's not just about the students. This job, it really lets you keep learning and growing, too.
So you're constantly evolving, just like the field itself.
Exactly. Which reminds me, we haven't even touched on RoleCatcher's CV and resume builder. That thing is a lifesaver, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. Trying to tailor your experience to every job description, it's a nightmare.
It's a pain, but RoleCatcher makes it so easy. Plus, they've got this cool interview practice tool. It uses AI to give you feedback on your answers.
Wait, really? AI feedback on your interview skills? That sounds kind of scary, but also super helpful.
It's actually amazing. It analyzes your delivery, your body language, everything. It's like having a personal coach in your pocket.
RoleCatcher has really thought of everything, haven't they? But, this whole deep dive, it's got me thinking about the bigger picture. Where does psychology education go from here? What does the future hold?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, RoleCatcher mentioned virtual reality, online platforms, but what if that's just the beginning?
Okay, now you've got me really curious. What else could be on the horizon?
Well, think about it. What about AI-powered teaching assistants? Imagine personalized learning plans based on brainwave patterns. The possibilities are, well, pretty much endless.
Wow, that's next level stuff. It's
Right.
like we're on the verge of a whole new era of education, and psychology, it's right at the forefront.
Exactly. And it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we use it to understand the human mind even better. It's pretty exciting stuff.
It really is. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of psychology lecturers, one thing's for sure. It's a field that's constantly evolving, full of challenges and rewards. And who knows what incredible discoveries lie ahead.
That's the beauty of it, right? There's always something new to learn, new questions to ask.
Absolutely. So whether you're a student just starting to explore psychology or someone considering a career in this fascinating field, remember, curiosity is key.
Curiosity and a passion for understanding what makes us tick.
Exactly. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep those minds curious.